Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I thought, you know what, it's time for another base game build. So I created this mansion without any packs, only the base game. I did not use any CC as always, so it's really just the base game. And you guys really enjoy base game builds most of the time. They are always really fun because it's a bit challenging trying to create something that doesn't really scream base game. So it looks like a nice proper mansion, but it's just the base game. And of course, anyone can download this from the gallery because I'm only using the base game. So base game builds are always really fun. And I decided to build this one in Oasis Springs. When I'm working on base game builds, I either build on this lot or the one in Willow Creek, the 50x50 one most of the time. I enjoy big builds, as you guys know, and a 50x50 lot is just perfect for this. And this here happens to be a 50x50 lot, of course. And I raised a part of the terrain in the center. I wanted to create a hill, and then I wanted my mansion to sit on that hill, and a part of the mansion is kind of sticking out and floating like some type of overhang, and I wanted this to be really visible, so I made sure that there's no terrain below. I'm going to add lots of debug rocks, as you will see, but this section is really just floating. This will be a fancy home gym, so even though it's a base game build, there is a lot of stuff going on. And I then wanted to create a round pool, and for this I used a base game debug object. This is just some type of column, and I built it so it's some type of round shape. It's not perfectly circular, but I think it looks nice. And at first I wanted to fill in this whole area, so these columns would be my boundary for the pool, but then I decided against this, so I ended up deleting the pool, and I then filled in the whole area with some floor pieces or foundation pieces, and this way it was really easy for me to place some other objects, because I eventually, as you will see, ended up using a base game nightstand to create a nice round shape. And usually I'm always using the Get Famous Pristine pedestal, which I of course couldn't do here because it's a base game build. So this is a really nice substitute. This is like the perfect alternative if you don't own Get Famous, or if you just want to work on a base game build, but if you want to create something similar, I can totally recommend using this nightstand. I forgot its name. I think it's like Simplicity Nightstand or something. Just the perfect object for this. And I then used a rock, and this way I was able to lay out my round shape like some type of stencil. I really like to do this, and I already started to build the pool, but then I deleted it because I first wanted to finish my round shape. And I'm placing these objects by holding down Alt on my keyboard and my left mouse button, and then when I'm moving my mouse I can rotate objects freely. You of course have to activate the move objects sheet for this, otherwise it's not going to work, because these objects are really merged into each other. They are touching, so you have to activate your move objects sheet. And I wanted to have a bit of a contrast because the whole build is really rectangular, really straight, clear lines, a bit minimalistic, and then I wanted to throw in some round shapes into the mix. I attached a round foundation piece to this area. I made sure that all edges and the corners look really nice, so I really tried to find the correct position for all my little nightstands. And I then wanted to have stairs on the left side, and at first I had no idea how to do this. I thought about just using some regular stairs, but these look really boring most of the time. So what I did was I simply used platforms, and platforms came so handy when I was working on this build. They really made the whole build look more interesting, more special. I really love platforms in general, but they are just perfect for base game builds. And as long as there is a height difference of only one step, your Sims will be able to traverse. So these are functional, and you can create your own stairs. It looks a bit funny when they're walking up all the way, and it takes a bit longer than regular stairs, I feel like, but it just looks so fancy and beautiful. I then used this flat base game bush that I generally really like to use. It's just amazing to hide slopes. This way you can just hide the terrain, and I placed some bushes just to decorate. And at this point I really fell in love with the whole build. Like at first I had no idea if this was looking good or something, but then I was really happy, especially after I added these base game debug rocks. They're really perfect if you want to create this type of shape, like stairs almost, like this cascading pattern. Really beautiful. There are so many debug rocks in this game, which are part of different packs, but these are just from the base game and they have such a unique shape. And a lot of the debug rocks which came with different packs look really similar. Sometimes they just change the color a bit, but these here are like so unique and one of the most amazing debug rocks. So I always say when I'm working on a base game build that the base game definitely deserves a bit of praise. First of all, we got so many updates, so there are a couple of fun objects in the base game now, and also you can create just anything with the base game if you want to. You just have to be a bit creative. You just have to, I don't know, just have a bit of fun with the base game kind of. And I always feel like that the base game just deserves a bit of praise. And when I say that I don't want a build to look like the base game, I don't mean it like in a negative way, as if a base game looking build is bad, because sometimes some objects or roof patterns just instantly look like a base game build. But I don't know, I just feel like when I try to create some unique shapes, I don't know, it's just like the challenge of making it look like a non-base game build in a way. But base game builds are fun in general, even if they instantly look like a base game build. They are always fun and amazing, and anyone can use them, as I said. I then, of course, had to connect my custom stairs, and for this I had to use stairs. So you still have to connect your platform to the level above, and usually you can just use some stairs which are like really tiny, so it's like literally only one step and they are not that visible. Here in this case, I think it's 3 steps if I see this correctly right now, and they are a bit bigger and you can clearly see them. But I don't know, for some reason it wouldn't let me connect it any other way, and then I was just like, fine, this is looking good, let's do it this way. And I then built a roof on the left side, one diagonal roof, because I wanted to create the illusion of diagonal stairs. So I was kind of hiding the edge. Technically I could have used the platform tool to just kind of change the shape, but I felt like it was a more unique look. Again, it looks really special, and I really like the base game, and I just love little tricks like this which make it look a bit more interesting. And I wanted to have different areas where Sims can just sit and have a barbecue or something, for example. And here I'm using another debug object. It's like a rock made out of stone. And then I used some awnings, which are also in the debug menu. So if you want to find them, you just have to take a close look at the debug menu. And also for this build, I'm always doing this for base game builds, I'm using James Turner's Disable Pack tool. He has a wonderful tool on his website. I'm going to link it down below in the description box. And you can just disable certain packs by creating a command line for the game properties. You can also use the base game quick select, which is what I always do when I'm working on a base game build. It's just much more convenient because you don't have to pay attention at all the objects that you can use or not use. You only have the base game when you load up your game, which is amazing. I'm always doing that, and this way it's also so easy to navigate through your debug menu. I mean, after a while you really get used to where stuff is, but it's even easier when you are using only the base game. It's just such a big difference. There are so many packs and so many objects, so when you are only building with the base game, in a way it's really relaxing. Also when I'm furnishing, this is like really challenging for me because of the base game. Like, furnishing is always the hardest part for me, and I try to make it look good, but then there aren't many objects, which makes it hard. But at the same time, it's like so relaxing because you don't have to like decide on, I don't know, you just don't have to look at 50 sofas and have to pick one, I don't know. Oh, and here I just created a couple of round skylights, and this is really, really simple. I used multiple foundation pieces, and there are some floor pieces with a fence attached to them. I always use them for stuff like this, and you can remove the fence and you can make them small on both sides, and then when you combine 4 of them, you have a perfect circle. Otherwise, it has a weird shape, a bit wonky, a bit oval, I don't know, but you want to have a perfect circle for this, so this is what what I'm doing. This is why I'm always using the foundation piece with a fence attached to it. And after removing the fence and after creating my perfect shape, I simply added a fence, just this beautiful white base game fence, and then I used the sledgehammer tool to remove the ceiling in the center, and then I of course had a hole in the center, and I simply filled it by using a round roof, and I applied the base game glass swatch, and this way I have a fully closed roof. It looks really fancy, and I combined this with a raised platform. Actually, when I was placing this on a flat roof, it didn't look as good, and when you raise the platform too high, it's also not looking good, because then your platform is higher than your fence, and it's looking weird. When you're playing around with this, you will see what I'm talking about. You just kind of have to find that sweet spot, and this is what I did, and I used this method in different areas, also in the front. I haven't worked on that part of the build yet, I think, but I'm also going to add a couple of round skylights over there, just so it looks really fancy. So I have lots of round shapes, but this one is a bit different and unique. And in between, I'm already working on the floor plan just a little bit, just making sure that all my platform heights are alright, so my Sims will be able to traverse, or your Sims, in case you are using this build later. And I then kept working on the exterior. Color-wise, I just wanted to keep it super simple. For the platforms, I used this basic white swatch. I used a white wall color just for the whole build, or almost the whole build. There was only one area where I used a dark gray color, and then I decided to use some black windows, and that's it. I feel like the magic of this build lies in the shape and just all the little tricks, so it looks a bit fancy. And here I'm adding more round skylights. I wanted to center them, but then the whole build wasn't adding up in the front anymore, so I had to make a couple of changes, so it's still a bit symmetrical so it still looked good. I also added my wonderful base game rug to create this type of border, and here you can see that I had to add a platform so it looked right. So I eventually moved my skylights and redid the whole thing, so you can see the struggle here. I included it, and I wanted to make this look really good. And there are so many windows in this build. It's super sun flooded, it's in the desert, it's really beautiful, so there isn't like a lot of stuff going on the walls. I used some no-CC gallery art again, but in general there are so many windows, and the windows are kind of the star of the build, and it looks like a complete glass house on the inside. One of the other reasons why I built a base game mansion was I just wanted some type of palette cleanser, because in a couple of days we are going to have the Sims 4 Paranormal Stuff Pack, and I just wanted to build something really simple. No packs, just something really simple. And then I'm just ready for a totally over-the-top spooky build, maybe Victorian. I don't know what's going to happen. I have to admit, for the first time ever, I missed the stream. I didn't make it to the stream in time, but I rewatched it, especially the part where the build buy stuff was shown, and there are a couple of really cute objects. I'm really excited because it's just something different. I totally didn't think that we would get a paranormal stuff pack right now. Also, there seems to be like a lot of outrage already because of Bonehilda. Everyone wanted Bonehilda to be back, and now she will be, which is a great thing, but she won't be in a coffin. So the original Bonehilda was in a coffin, so she just stepped out and did her thing, which was amazing, but now you have to kind of summon her in a seance or something. I don't know, to be honest, but there's no coffin, and the whole situation is different. A lot of people are angry, as always when a new pack is announced, I think, but I don't know. I'm just going to take a look when it's out, and I'm really ready to work on a spooky build, and I have no idea what I'm going to build, to be honest. This is like so unusual. As I always say, I'm always into spooky stuff, but it's like so unusual to work on a build like this in, I mean, it's winter and not spooky season, but as I said in another video, I'm really happy about that. So it's not like some type of gimmick, like some type of spooky stuff pack for Halloween. Ghosts are a huge part of The Sims in general, and having a pack surrounding them with a seance and stuff like this, and a ghost hunting career and all that, it seems to be great. And I'm glad that it's not like super gimmicky, but it's like a addition to the game in general. all on the basis of having ghosts in the game. So I'm just ready. I'm open-minded about this. I'm just going to take a look and I'm going to build a spooky build for you guys. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you will get the new pack or not, and if you're excited about this or not. I don't know. I never, to be honest, gameplay-wise, I never really cared about the ghosts. Like, I have to admit, because for me, I was always about realistic gameplay most of the time when I was playing, and after my sim was dead, I just wanted them to be gone, because personally I felt like it was a bit weird to have all these ghosts in your house. I don't know, and sometimes it was also really, really sad, especially when my sim's cat died, and then there was the cat ghost, and it was so sad. I don't know, which was really cute, but yeah, I never really interacted a lot with the ghost in this game, to be honest. But they are such a vital part of the game. Like, they're so important to the Sims in general. Everyone, or almost everyone, knows that there are ghosts in the Sims. So I think it's a fun little idea, and we will see what's going to happen. And after all, it's only a stuff pack. I'm much more excited about the expansion packs, which will be out this year. Like, at some point there has to be another expansion pack. I'm actually more curious about this, to be honest, but we will see what's going to happen. And here at this point, I'm doing some landscaping. The house is almost finished on the exterior. I used a lot of these debug rocks eventually. At first, I only wanted to use them on one side where I created this kind of cascading look, but then I ended up using them everywhere, all around my build, and I had to move a couple of windows around, which changed the look on the exterior ever so slightly, but not a lot. So still made sure that it looked good on the outside after all, but I had to move them around because it just wasn't adding up when I wanted to work on the floor plan, which is what I'm doing here now. I just didn't want a wall to be in the center of a window, so I had to change the position of a couple of windows. And there are 3 bedrooms in total, 2 kids' rooms, 1 master bedroom. All bedrooms have a bathroom attached to them, so all of them are en suites, and I also included a home gym, as you will see. So it's really fancy, really spacious. I still couldn't squeeze in more bedrooms after all. Like, the whole floor plan the situation was a bit weird, and at the bottom, especially on this level here, it's like a really typical over the top mansion. We have this huge entrance area, 2 living rooms, I mean, the kitchen isn't that big for once, but it's still spacious. And as I said, I always struggle a bit when I'm furnishing using only the base game. But at the same time, it's so chill. You just don't have to take a look at all these objects. And also what I wanted to mention, because sometimes when I talk about this, you guys leave me a comment about that, and I want to mention this and I totally forgot. So there is a wonderful mod by the amazingly talented Twisted Maxi, and this mod makes it possible to sort the debug menu. So you have different categories, and you can like go to rocks, and there are all your debug rocks and all that. And this mod is really amazing, and I can highly recommend it. All his mods are wonderful, but I didn't use it after all. Not because it's bad, it isn't. As I said, fully recommended. The thing is, I'm so used to just navigate through the debug menu the way I do. Like, I've done this for a long time now, and it's like muscle memory. When I'm scrolling down, I just find the stuff instantly. And after using the mod, I felt like it didn't help me personally, but I was just struggling. I had no idea where to find stuff, especially because I really like to use stuff which didn't belong into any category. So it's not like, oh hey, a rock, a plant, a tree, or anything, but like some really weird stuff that no one really knows what it is, like the back of flower, like the base game debug break. Who knows what that is? So I had a hard time navigating through the debug menu this way. So I think it's really helpful, really convenient, a amazing mod, especially if you are a bit new to the debug menu, or if you just really want to have some type of overview, and if you just want there to be some logic to the whole debug menu, which is a mess. But if you're super used to where to find all your stuff, even the weird stuff, then you might be happier not using it and just doing it the old-fashioned way. I don't know. I just want to mention this because people kept recommending the mod to me when I was talking about this before, and I just wanted to clarify that I think it's a wonderful mod that I recommend, but it just wasn't for me. And I don't know, like, I'm really weird about that. Like, as soon as I know where I find my stuff, it's like I'm a quick builder usually. Like, as soon as I have an idea, as soon as I know what I'm doing, I'm really quick, and I just don't want to look for stuff all the time. I know where the stuff is, I find the stuff, I'm using the stuff, and I'm happy. So this is kind of it, but a wonderful mod. I'm also going to link it down below because you should totally check it out. You literally don't have to look for debug works in the debug menu anymore. You can just find it, and it's just wonderful. I think it's also the mod that allows you to duplicate debug objects just like that. I'm always using Tool for that, and Tool is like, oh my god, it's so wonderful, like the holy grail of mods for me personally. But yeah, I just want to mention this wonderful mod as well. And here, this is a bathroom, obviously, and I'm using a no CC gallery art painting. I placed a couple of those in the house, and for the living rooms, both in the entrance area and here, I always raised the platform one step so I could fill in the area. It looks more fancy, and I built a wall in front of the window so I would have a place where I could just place my TV. So this is like the family room. Everyone can hang out here and watch TV, but there's also a formal living room in just right in the entrance area when you have some guests. I mean, it doesn't matter that much in The Sims, but when you are building a mansion, you are building a mansion, and you kind of pay attention to these things sometimes. And I just wanted to create a wall where I have some shelves that looks fancy, like a fancy area for watching TV, I guess. And it's always so difficult for me when I furnish using the base scheme to just pick the right colors. I mean, I generally have a tendency to use monochrome colors. I really enjoy really modern white, gray, or black interiors, but with the base scheme it's even more difficult. I feel like a lot of the stuff that is colorful is really washed out, like the rug, for example, this teal colored rug. It's really difficult to really have a colorful base scheme interior, at least for me. I don't know. The same goes for the wallpapers, by the way. I don't know, maybe it's just me, I have no idea. This was the home gym, really spacious and open and really fancy. So it's a proper mansion. You have a pool, different areas to hang out and have a barbecue, the outdoor kitchen, a home gym, a hot tub. Never forget the base game hot tub that we got in the anniversary update. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm just happy that we have a base game tub, to be honest. And this is one of the bedrooms, and I just did my best and furnished them. I wanted to have two really colorful kids' rooms, a blue and a pink one, just really colorful. For one of the rooms, the other room, I used one of the murals which were introduced in a base game update. I don't remember which one it was, but I just wanted to have a just really colorful kids rooms and all that stuff. So it's just a proper mansion for a sim family, not really a big sim family. There aren't that many bedrooms. Maybe you could just squeeze in more beds into these rooms if you had to, I don't know. But I really tried to squeeze in all the stuff already, as you can see here. I really wanted to have all the stuff for each bedroom. Like, I really wanted to not forget anything. Like, I wanted to have a desk and all that, a bookshelf, so I was really moving around the furniture. I mean, it's like the paranormal stuff pack is already here, the furniture's already moving around here. So this is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed this mansion. I tried something new. Here you can see some short clips of the exterior instead of screenshots, but in a second you will also see screenshots for the interior. I don't know, let me know what you prefer, if you like that. Just leave a comment, I will get back to you. I always love to read your comments, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. You can find this build in the gallery, fully furnished, CC free. unmodded, and I didn't use any packs, so this is a true base game build. And if you're watching this, or if you're only taking a look at the screenshots right now and you are like, nope, I see some weird stuff, this isn't base game. Yes, it is. I just really like to use some debug objects. I think sometimes this is what confuses people. Like, there are some weird debug objects and you sometimes don't even know that they exist, and I feel you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.